In his first public remark after Ghana invited the International Monetary Fund for support, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, during the mid-year budget review presentation in the House, explained that although the government had tried resisting the urge of signing up for an IMF bailout, Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the COVID-19 pandemic led to some economic challenges that required external intervention.
Unfortunately, unprecedented global developments, Mr. Speaker, over the past 2 years, especially in these last 6 months, have really and truly disrupted our efforts. Governments across the world have had to change course to tackle the current crisis. Governments that less than a year ago were busily talking about energy transition and green and cleaner fuels have gone back to firing their coal plants. Governments that are known for low taxes are now raising taxes to tackle growing deficits. These are not ordinary times, not for Ghana, not for Africa, and certainly not for the whole world. Right, Honorable Speaker, let us all acknowledge that the situation we are experiencing now is different. The global context we find ourselves in is the first of its magnitude in the Fourth Republic, and even before that. It is therefore disappointing when people want to pretend that these developments are purely domestic.
The minister presented the government's intention to revise economic growth targets in view of the challenging times domestically and globally. This includes the revision of the projected economic growth rate target from 5.8% to 3.7%.
Provisional Q1 2022 National Account statistics published by Ghana Statistical Service in June 2022 show that the overall real GDP growth for the first quarter of 2022 was 3.3%, compared to 3.6% recorded in the same period in 2021. Non-oil GDP for the first quarter of 2022 grew by 3.7% compared to the Q1 2020 growth of 5.3%. Revision to 2022 macroeconomic framework. Mr. Speaker, as I've already indicated, the macroeconomic environment has significantly changed, prompting the revision of the macroeconomic framework. Furthermore, based on the development for the first 6 months of 2022 and outlook for the rest of the year, we have accordingly revised the macro fiscal targets for 2022 as follows. Overall GDP growth of 3.7% down from 5.8%. Non-oil GDP growth of 4.3% down from 5.9%. End period inflation of 28.5% up from 8%. The overall deficit of 6.6% of GDP down from 7.4%. Primary surplus of 0.4% of GDP up from a surplus of 0.1% of GDP. And the gross international reserves of not less than 3 months import cover.
Furthermore, Ken Ofori-Atta announced the revenue measures that will shore up government's efforts to revive the economy. This includes some proposed amendments and revisions on the collection of value-added tax revenue.
The following revenue measures will be pursued in the remaining half of the year. EVAT. The digitalization of our revenue mobilization processes remain a key focus. Therefore, the GRA is finalizing all relevant processes to facilitate the effective collection of VAT revenue. This includes a proposed amendment of the Value Added Tax Act 870 to enable its electronic collection effective 1st October 2022. Property rates. It's fundamentally important that together with the Ministry of Local Government, we continue to assist and support the assemblies, not only to expand their revenue base, but to do so with optimal efficiency and effectiveness. Therefore, the collective efforts of the local government, the assemblies, and the GRA in launching an end-to-end digitized process will be realized in August. Extension of waiver of interest and penalty to December 2022, and introduction of upfront payment of VAT on importers not registered for VAT with implementation start date of 1st October 2022.